What's going on, everybody? Focus school changes. Will it affect your builds? This is going to be a tricky one because a lot of people tailor-made their builds to certain focus schools, but in case you're new to the game, you don't know what focus schools I'm talking about, these are the focus schools that you have in the game. You have zenurik, you have Madarai, you got naramon, unaired, vazarin. You have 5 schools to use at your disposal, but you only could choose one and go into a mission with. You go over here, you choose make primary, you do that, switch it over, yada yada, right? But here's the thing. Each school has its own little niche, whatever you want to call it. Naramon is tailor-made for melee weapons, as you can see. Critical damage, 10 seconds of invisibility when inflicting a critical damage with a melee. Same thing with this, increase the critical chance with melees for the duration of the mission. So you talk about 30% increased critical chance, 10%, not 10%, 10 seconds of invis when inflicting a crit damage. This one here opens up enemies to finishers and increase finisher damage taken by 35%, reveal weakness, 25% increase affinity for killing enemies with melee weapons, allies, 25% increase critical chance with melee weapons. So you get the gist of it. This school is tailor-made for melee weapons. This one is tailor-made for energy, and mostly popular with this one, energy overflow. 4 energy per second for the duration of the mission. Really nice. You could use blind rage, you could go negative efficiency with your build, and you could rely on zenurik to give you that energy back. Once you pop the focus school and you go back into your Warframe, you're good to go. In my opinion now, vazarin, first school I unlocked by the way, is overall the better school overall because it does a little bit of everything for you except give you energy. It replenishes your health, it replenishes your shields. Also, it provides you with a layer of protection, but also you can revive allies with the quickness. Early on, got a lot of love, keep using vazarin. A lot of love. Just keep reviving noobs to keep going down too damn much. You already know the deal. Vazarin is that awesome, man. But these focus school changes, man, it's gonna be happening. Madarai. A lot of people use this because of you can increase your slash damage by 20%. It's only level 1 for me right now. I believe this will increase probably by like at least 30 or 35% for the duration of the mission, which is still nice. So it's good for those slash weapons. You can increase the slash damage by a good percentage. And last but not least, you have unaired right here. I barely got to touch this quite a bit. Most of the people that like to use Atlas, unaired is the school for you. As far as with these changes, they're changing it so that you saw all the benefits of each school. Whichever school you choose, for example, I'm going to go right back to it so I can clarify my point with it. If you're using vazarin, for example, you pop the school and whatnot. Based on my guessing, my educated guess, you use these abilities, and I believe they're going to do this. You use these abilities for your tenno. It's not meant for your Warframe, Sarin. Your Warframe itself is meant for once you go into your focus school by going like this. Go into your operator, your tenno. It's supposed to benefit the tenno. So since I'm using vazarin, I'm guessing if they go this route, man, it's going to be interesting. You go into your tenno, run to somebody, and be like, oh, let me heal you. And once you do that, pop, go back into your Warframe, themselves. So I believe the change is made for the use of the operator using these abilities. It was never meant to be used for the Warframe. It's not supposed to benefit the Warframe itself. It's supposed to be used for the operator. Now, a lot of people are going to be upset by this because it's like, man, now I got to change my build. As far as with me, I like to use Blind Rage on my Saren just because of Zenurik, but it won't be an issue. All I got to do is take out Blind Rage and just put in Intensify. Now, I may, if I want to, I could take off Regenerative Molt, rely on 100% efficiency, not do much. But here's the thing, I could just leave it the way it is, take this off. 190 is still good enough as far as with spreading those spores anyway. And all I gotta do is put this in here. Where is it? Just put in Streamline. Boom, there you go. 30% efficiency right there. So instead of me using my abilities at the base, which is like 25 for the spores, got reduced to 18. Yippee. Molt, 50, 35. Awesome. Toxic Lash, if I decide to go melee crazy with these guys, now 35. Miasma, it was 100, now it's 70. I don't see no issues right there. But as far as with other people that may not be so lucky, they're gonna have to sacrifice, or in this case use a forma when they could have used it for something else. It's like they got no choice but to use the forma on their Warframe, change their build because of the focus school being changed. I understand that that may piss off a lot of people, but here's the thing. They were supposed to do some form of change with the focus schools a while back, because they were talking about tweaking naramon, because a lot of people were spamming naramon. They wasn't bothering with the other focus schools like Vazarin, Zenurik, Unaired, and Matarite. People weren't using those at the time. It was all about naramon, naramon, naramon. They were supposed to tweak it. Never got to it. So now they decided, you know what? Instead of tweaking naramon and forgetting about the others, we are going to revamp the whole focus school. All 5. So I am interested to see what they're going to do with these focus schools as far as with the changes. Will they change some of the abilities where, like for Zenurik, for example, if it's 4 energy per second, they may put it down to 2. Vazarin, instead of quickly reviving allies at the touch of a button, they may increase our reviving, window. Instead of the square be going at that same slow rate, they may increase the rate. You don't know. So that's pretty much all I gotta say and talk about as far as with these focus schools. But as far as it changing your builds, it's gonna change a lot of people's builds. A lot. Because there are people that use naramon. There's a lot of people that use Zenurik, especially with that Blind Rage. They may change that V to like a dash, or they may change that dash to a D. Whatever it is, as far as with their build, they may end up changing it because they're gonna have to adapt to this new focus school. So that's kind of like a downside to that, but we gotta see how this goes and how we can adjust to the focus school changes, because it's like I said before, they were gonna do this a while back, they never got to it, but now that they're gonna really go all the way with it, the feedback from the community is gonna be real interesting. So stay tuned.